And fabulous. We're live with Steve McIlrath from Avalon Guitars. Hi, Steve. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Terence. Good to connect with you, and greetings from Northern Ireland.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, Steve. You sort of jittered there just a little bit. Great. Maybe you could just, because quite a few of us are aware of Loudon, but we may not be so aware of sort of the history behind it and what's been happening more recently. Maybe you could go through that with us, please.
Yeah, sure. Well, where I'm talking to you from is the Avalon factory, which was originally the Loudon factory. It was that came about because the former company, Loudon Company, which was called Loudon Guitars International, had gone bust, and a group of friends, myself included, we bought it from the receiver, and we set it up in its original location, which was just 6 kilometers away from here, and then we relocated to this facility in 1990, and we've been here ever since. We were still Loudon for another 12 years after that. And then in 2002, we switched to being the Avalon Guitar Company Limited, which is what we've remained since then.
Mm-hmm.
So how it came about, we had a design license agreement with Loudon, but the downside to that was, I mean, they're great guitars, of course, but the downside to that was that no one else could design the guitars that we were making. And we had a very talented cadre of luthiers that were, I suppose you could say, itching to get involved in design, coming up with great ideas. And it seemed to me their morale was pretty much connected to their ability to design something and see their ideas come to fruition and be out there in the marketplace. So once we were having some little difficulties with the Loudon contract, it seemed to me this opportunity was a much greater opportunity than just fighting legal battles all the time. So we ended up selling the Loudon trademark back to Loudon. But we stayed here in the factory, and all of the most talented of senior craftsmen stayed here. And of course, we're able then to design Avalon guitars and have a huge amount of input into that. I'm not a guitar maker, I should hasten to add. So there was no point them relying on me because I couldn't glue 2 lollipop sticks together. So it was a business that was founded entirely on their skills and abilities and knowledge. And in a sense, when I started to conceive of what Avalon should be, the phrase we came up with back in the day was that it was a community of gifted luthiers. And so what we wanted to do was facilitate their talents and give their talents an outlet, let them express themselves. And that's worked really well. We've had some really excellent design developments. I should add that alongside that, a lot of these guys make their own guitars. And we encourage that. We encourage them to make their own guitars. We allow them to use this facility to do that. And so this place, which we like to call the spiritual home of Irish guitar making, this really facilitates that creativity, that expression, and they share ideas. You know, it's not just they're all independent going after it. They're very collaborative in the way that they work, and that's a great asset for us.
Fantastic. And I understand it's actually 30 years at Newtonards.
Yep, that's right. So this will be our 30th anniversary of being in this location.
Right. What have you got?
We had hoped to. Sorry.
And yeah, sorry, you were going to say.
No, I was going to say we had scheduled a big kind of celebration for last October before COVID got in the way and interrupted our plans. But we're going to do that later on this year with a bit of fanfare and just spread the word that we've been in a lockdown mode since Christmas, so we're going to bounce back, you might say, and with that have the 30th anniversary celebrations at the same time.
Oh, lovely. And that sounds fantastic. Can I just check, with all these sort of factory made, community made, sort of guitars, do you sort of build more standardized models, or are they mostly sort of custom orders, or sort of standardized with some customization?
I think from our perspective, we have a set range of guitars that are really they're more like, treat them more like templates. So we would have a standard specification, but we invite and encourage as much customization that is practically possible, because this is really what we do best. We're not a cookie cutter manufacturer. We have no CNC machines whatsoever. We made a conscious decision that we would always remain a handcrafted product. Therefore, that gives us the opportunity to highly customize anything. And now if someone came along and said, I just want a standard spec guitar, that's fine. We can do that. Not a problem at all. But increasingly, more of our customers are coming to us looking to vary the spec in some way. And sometimes it's minimal, like just somebody wants an inlay, or it's maximal, like somebody's wanting bevels, fan frets, sound ports, 12th fret neck joints, all of the gambit of possibilities. And so long as it's within reason, what we try to avoid is creating a Frankenstein guitar, which is just customizing it for customization's sake. So long as all the details blend aesthetically together, we've got the talent, the capability to really create some wonderful custom pieces.
Right. That's great. And you have, I understand that you've got in-house capabilities of pretty much everything. So I remember you were telling me that some of the guys are really great at inlays.
That's right. Yeah, the full skill set is here. If you look at the whole gambit of lutherie skills, handcrafted skills, it all resides here. It's all under one roof. Right. Down to, a specialist who can do colored finishes, if that floats your boat. All kinds of inlay work on fretboard, headstock, bridges, rosettes, special pick guards, the whole range of possibilities exists, and we like doing them because they're a bit of a challenge. They break the monotony of making the run-of-the-mill guitars. Not that anything's run-of-the-mill, but things that have a little bit more interest. And then one of the things we do when we're building a guitar, particularly a custom order, we photograph it at each stage of production. So we'll update the customer almost, on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to show them how this thing's coming together, right from letting the customers select the timbers, and then at every point, up until the guitar is bridged, and then when it's finally made, we take a nice gallery of pictures, and that becomes a great memento for people. And I can see lots of people sharing these on social media. So it's not like you you order a guitar and the guitar arrives, you take it out of the box, you play it.
Mhm.
It's a more engaged process where you're on a journey, seeing this thing come to fruition.
Mhm. Great. And I think now's maybe show and tell time. I know that
Okay.
you've got a couple to show us, I remember.
Well, let me see if I can reach this without
Sure.
wrecking my phone.
Just be careful with the guitars. We've had some accidents already. Well, one accident, so I would
Okay.
say please be careful.
Well, see if I can angle this to make it more without the phone falling down. This is one of our jumbo cutaway guitars.
Uh-huh.
It has just a regular Sitka spruce soundboard.
Uh-huh.
And the back and sides on this guitar are Australian blackwood.
Uh-huh.
We've got nice flamey bindings.
Uh-huh.
This is the only indigenous wood that we're able to use on this guitar. We have an ebony fingerboard, mahogany neck with a maple center laminate.
Right.
The fingerboard is bound with rosewood and maple. We have a rosewood headstock facing with a little maple underlay.
Great.
And purfling detail, with mahogany, ebony, and rosewood.
Oh,
We lost it.
that's okay. Yeah. I mean, I was going to
bound to
say,
happen.
I think it's preferable the phone sort of plops as opposed to the guitar takes a dive.
Yeah.
Right. And was it a maple binding? Sycamore.
Yeah, flame maple. Well,
maple.
It's we use those terms interchangeably here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's a nice sweet tone to it. Full enough. Now the other one, we haven't built one of these for a long time. I've only ever actually seen one other Avalon Zebrano, and that's what this is. Back inside Zebrano, again a Sitka spruce soundboard, and oh, I knew that was going to go out of tune. I was photographing this guitar, and I like to flatten all the tuners for the photography.
Yeah.
So. This is a monster of a guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, can we sorry, Steve, the sort of the phone's just angled slightly upwards a little bit. Can we just get a quick look at that back? There we go. Yeah, that's great.
Is that better? I'm just going to sit closer to the desk. So
yeah.
This is the soprano. It also has nice flame maple bindings on it. We've put a maple neck on this guitar, as you can see. It's got little laminates of Purple Heart in there. Also ebony, and this time the fingerboard's bound in ebony.
Great.
Ebony and maple. So ebony bridge and rosewood headstock facing. So we had, excuse me, I'll pop this down out of the way. When lockdown came along, we had to close our showroom. And that was a bit of a killer, because every day we'd get people walking in, looking around the showroom, picking up guitars, and we haven't been able to do that because in their wisdom, they've decided to keep retail from opening up, even though the rest of the UK is opening up pretty much full on, but
Oh, damn.
we're still in some sort of purgatory over here.
Oh, damn.
But it meant that business really dropped off, and we had a few gaps then open up in the build schedule. So rather than just twiddle our thumbs, we decided, well, let's just pull out some tone woods that we haven't used ever, or tone woods that we haven't used in a long while.
And this was
because we had some really fascinating results. There were two timbers in particular that we had sitting in the kiln, but we never built a guitar with before. One was rain tree or monkey pod, and the other was spalted apple.
Right.
And I had got a bunch of this stuff some years ago, so it was well seasoned, and I just thought, well, we've got a gap here. Why not use it and see see what the results are? Because we're always pleasantly surprised. I remember years ago we were given a sycamore tree that had come from the village I used to live in, and I thought we'd use it for bindings. And it lay on the ground in all kinds of weather. By the time it came to cut it up, it had become heavily spalted,
right,
and it really wasn't any good for bindings. And we were literally on the verge of cutting it up for firewood when Ernie, my kind of chief luthier here, he comes along and says, you know what, I think I can get some backs and sides out of this. Shall we experiment? And I was so glad we rescued that, because they ended up sounding amazing. And the guitar I play mostly today, my own guitar, is one of those spalted sycamore guitars. So, you know, given that little moment, a little experience, I thought, well, let's try these others. So we've built several monkey pod guitars. They look outrageous, but they sound amazing as well. Right. And the apple, we made a baritone out of the apple wood, and it was incredible, just so rich and full. So we're kind of thinking, oh, we should try more of these alternate woods, because as you know, there was a big trend here in Europe to kind of cut down on the air miles of shipping wood all around the world. Oh yeah. So we decided to join in with that effort. Oh, so the sycamore was obviously local, came from about 30 kilometers away. Right. The apple comes from England, I believe. So, you know, it's reasonably local.
Fabulous. Well, on that note, I think we're getting on for time, and I know you're a busy man, so better let you get back to your schedule. Thank you very much for chatting with us, and I look forward to chatting with you again, catching up and seeing what's happening in the workshop.
Great, Terence. Thank you very much indeed. And congratulations on all your Guitarbench activities. It's really good.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.